And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wheel Talk, the podcast with a guy in a wheelchair and a girl in a wheelchair. What up, Brittany?
What up, Fred? How are you today?
I'm great, thanks. I've just finished work for the season. I had my last day yesterday, and today is my first day of freedom.
Oh,
And I've got
nice.
mixed feelings about
Did
it.
you sleep in?
Oh, I slept in, yeah. Funny story, it was daylight savings time yesterday, and I forgot about it because, I have an analog. This didn't update, and I have analog clocks, and I don't sleep with my phone in my room. So I was completely unaware of it, and I woke up and I just had this little feeling of like, oh shit, I think it's daylight savings. But I kind of wish that I hadn't remembered. I was like, oh, no, I kind of wish I'd gone back to forgetting because I had to get up in a rush. Because essentially I'd accidentally slept in. But yeah, this morning I slept in, and yeah, it was nice. I had a nice cuddle with Chris, and I had a nice relaxing start to the day. Oh, it was glorious. Yeah,
That's awesome. I now sleep with my phone in my room because I have a camera on the dog, even though the dog is in our room in a crate. I still, for a lunatic. So now I'm like trying to break myself of that habit to get the phone out of the room again because I just watch stupid stuff like way too late. And then I
yeah.
go to bed and I'm so tired. So I think I went to sleep like midnight last night and got up at 7:30, which isn't like that bad, but still I'm like, oh, dumb. So yeah.
That's mental that you have a camera for your dog and you take your phone to bed, even though your dog's in the same room. What I like? Oh my god! I feel like the dog saga continues. I
I
just
know.
yeah, it's
I'm
bizarre.
loony. Well, at first it was just because I would want to see if she was waking up when I was like getting up to go to the bathroom because I was like trying to see if she was waking up. But now I'm like, what does it matter if she's not making any noise? So yeah, I've slept without my phone a couple of times. Um,
Yeah.
and it's been totally fine. So I don't know why I even need it because
Well,
I'm
I've
crazy.
mentioned on the pod before. This wasn't going to be the focal point of the beginning of the pod, but yeah, sleeping without the phone in the bedroom, I think, is one of the biggest life hacks
Oh,
ever.
I know.
Apart
And I
from
was for
yeah,
years I didn't.
yeah, apart from daylight savings time when you get caught out. But it was so interesting to know that like some people will come in the shop and they're like, oh, I'm really tired today, and I was like, oh, is it because of daylight savings time? And they're like, oh, is it daylight savings time? And because everyone uses their phone, like
Yeah.
so many people just hadn't noticed, and I was thinking, wow, what a crazy little psyop, like if everyone
Yeah.
just changes the time on everyone's like little devices, then
And
you could
nobody
just
notices.
nobody notices, and then, like so many people lost an hour's worth of sleep and they just didn't know. And I just thought,
Yeah.
wow, that's so incredible. So always keep an analog clock, just in case they try to pull a fast one.
Yeah, totally. I know. I have like an alarm clock or whatever in my room, so I normally would change the time on that. And we have clocks like analog clocks all around our house that we have to change the time on. Like people don't have clocks or like on their
Yeah,
oven or microwave or I don't know.
yeah, have one in my car. Um, so yeah,
Oh yeah, my
but
car
anyway,
automatically updates.
oh, does it? Oh, that's
Yeah.
clever. Yeah, I had a mechanic come around to look at my car earlier, and again, I'm sort of getting derailed from like what I was wanting to talk about,
Yeah.
but he came over because my car was had like this issue of like traction control, and it was losing power. It was going into limp mode, and he run this diagnostics check, and nothing happened. And then I said, oh no, look, check it out, it'll lose power when I go up the hill. All of a sudden the car is like super responsive, like nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And I've got this mechanic here, and he's just like, well, it looks fine to me, give me some money please. And I was like, oh, cheers man. So it was like 70 euros for just the call out, and I was like, well, yeah, whatever, the car seems to be working fine now, so that's cool. But yeah, I was just like,
That's
ouch, it's a lot of money.
the worst when you say something's wrong and then it's like totally fine. When you actually go either like the doctor or a mechanic or something, and you're just like, all right, well, my body or my car wants to make a liar out of me. That's and I don't think we have call out mechanics here. You have to take it to a shop.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, like I say, he had the diagnostic tools. He had the know-how and stuff. But basically, we just ended
Yeah.
up going for a drive, and he ended up saying, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with your car, mate. That's 70
Yeah.
euros." And I'm like, "Oh, ouch." But whatever. So
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, let's get back onto, you know, the tracks here.
Tangents aside, let's
Tangents
talk
aside.
about um, me finishing work and the mixed
Yeah.
feelings that it's brought up. So, finished work yesterday, and a lot of the clients were like, really like, oh my God, it's your last day. No way. Oh, we're really going to miss you. How's this place going to, like, replace someone like you? Why are you leaving? And I'm like, oh, well, it's just the end of the contract. It was just a seasonal contract. And they're like, oh, but we're really going to miss you. And it was like, not only the English clients that come in all the time, but the French, the old ladies, they were like, oh, we're really going to miss you as well. You're really friendly. And just so many. It was really unexpected, the warmth that I received from people who just buy stuff at the till. And yeah, so and then it's left this, like, I've been looking forward to this day, honestly.
Yeah.
When something's coming up, you're like,
Yeah.
oh. And the early mornings, as much as I love the job, the early mornings, I've never really quite got used to waking up this early. So I'm just like, oh, amazing. But then already day one, this like void, it's filled with not just relaxation, but it like old habits like can creep in, like watching too much YouTube or getting distracted. But then also like planning the holiday, and I don't know, I just felt like this. I would be utterly relaxed, like, oh, when I finish, I can relax. But there's actually
Yeah.
more things. I don't know. It's just a weird mixture of feelings. Like I'm not exactly happy. I'm not exactly sad, but I'm a little bit neutral. I was looking forward to this, and then I'm a bit lost.
I always think we think we want relaxation, but then when we get the thing, it's not as like all it's cracked up to be. And this happens with people when they're disabled all the time that previously weren't disabled because they're like, oh, all I want to do is sit around and watch TV. And then I've talked to some people who've had like catastrophic injuries that become quadriplegics and, are unable to work. And then all they, basically do is have all this free time and they hate it. They're like, so you don't know how great you have something until it's gone, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like being on holidays too, or me thinking that I just want like quiet from my kids or now the dog or whatever. But then when everything's like quiet, I'm like, now what do I do? Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's like such an odd feeling. But that's really nice that you had such great feedback from all the customers because that must make you feel good on your way out.
Yeah, yeah, it was really nice, and a lot of them were like, 'cause some of the guys from Hunter Chalets, they were like, "Oh, we've got like a legends of the season, and you're on our list." Fred from the supermarket, he's like one of the legends of the season,
Oh
and
my
I thought that
God.
was really nice, and yeah, so a lot of the guys were just really kind and lovely, and the staff members as well, like the other staff members, like all the seasonal staff members all finish on the same day, and they were all like, oh, like we exchanged numbers and we're going to go out for drinks tomorrow, and ended up showing some of them some magic, which was really cool, and I was really thrilled. I actually done some of the best magic I've ever done.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
just
just at
yeah,
work, you mean?
yeah, because like this one guy, Julian, he's like he looks a little bit like Trevor from GTA 6. No, sorry, GTA 5. Do you know Grand Theft Auto, the game?
No, no. Well,
Well, for
I do
anyone,
know
yeah.
it. Yeah.
He's like this sort of, he's got like a receding hairline, and he looks a little bit like Trevor, but anyway, for anyone who knows that reference, that's what he looks like. But yeah, he's like quite grumpy sometimes, but then he's quite friendly. He speaks English. You can never really tell if it's like his bad mood is like tongue in cheek or he's really grumpy.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's definitely really grumpy. But yeah, anyway, he said, because I showed David, sorry, I showed David a really nice magic trick, and he said, "Oh, I hear you've been doing magic. Do you have a magic trick for me?" As a magician, this is the dream scenario. Someone asking to like, oh,
Yeah.
and I was eating my sandwich, and I was like, oh, and he said, "Oh, I have a deck of cards in my car. Do you want me to go get them? They're bicycle cards. Do you know what bicycle cards are?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I know what bicycle cards are. These ones."
Yeah.
And he said, I said, "Oh, yeah, maybe." Anyway, I ended up doing a trick that I've done with you before, but I'll run through the routine really quick. I said, "Oh, listen, don't worry, I've got a deck of cards here. If you want, I can show you something." I spread the cards out. I showed him that they were all different. Gave them a shuffle. I said, "Hey, listen, have you ever heard about the cards? The story behind the cards, like being." There's a theory that there's a calendar reference. Like the red cards and the black cards represent day and night. the four different suits represent the four seasons, and the 13 different cards represent the 13 lunar cycles, and if you add up the value of all the numbers, they come up to 365. And he's like, no way, that's crazy, that's amazing. And I said, look, we're going to shuffle off some piles, and you tell me when to stop. Stop there, and we end up with 5 different piles. I said, oh, let's lean into this calendar theme. I said, then what's a date that's special to you, Julian? Like, for example, like your date of birth. And he was like, oh, the 19th of October, 1978. I said, oh, okay, that's amazing. How would we represent that in cards? And he said, oh, I don't know. I guess like an ace and then a 9. And he goes through, and I said, oh, well,
Yeah.
I said, I don't even want to touch the cards. I said, why don't you turn that first card over?
No.
And he was like, no way. Turns the card, first card turns over, it's an ace. And all of a sudden he's clocked what's about to happen. And he's like, no way, no way. Turns over the next card, 9, so that represent 19. I said, what did you say? October. So what was that? That would be a 10. So he turns over the next card, it's a 10. It's amazing. Then he turns over the next card, it's a 7. And he was born in 1978, but the last card was a 79.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe you just wished that you were a year younger. So there was a slight little error, but he was blown away. He said, he's like me. I genuinely thought you were going to be like, oh, pick a card, lose it in the deck and then find a card again. He was like, that has blown my mind. He was like, that was probably the best magic trick I've ever seen in my life. And he was like going away, and he come back and he was telling people about it. Like, and then he was like he's like, but I don't even know. Like, he was so blown away. And I was like, wow, that was so cool. It was such an incredible piece of magic that it seemed like so spontaneous, and it was fantastic. Brittany, honestly, it was like one of the most amazing magic things I've ever done, and it was very, very well received.
Those ones where the like prediction things are always crazy, where they're there's a piece of paper at the beginning of the magic trick. They write something on it, and then it just ends up being the thing that they couldn't have predicted otherwise. Like, it's so cool. And it's like, for some reason, there's just certain times where there's like either connection with somebody, or like the energy that you bring to the table, or just the overall energy in the room. Something feels quote unquote magical. And it's just, you go away from that feeling so accomplished and great. I have days like that when I'm teaching where I'm just like, wow, like, I'm a great teacher. And like, that's like such a thing that you don't normally afford yourself, is like thinking you're so good at something. But some days the energy is just there, and you come away being like, oh, that was awesome. I'm really good at that. That's really cool. Did you do more magic tricks to other people, or just him?
No, I did a really cool magic trick that maybe I want to show you. Actually, I'm a little bit nervous. I always get nervous showing magic, but I could show you if you want. Do you want to try?
Yeah,
let's try something? Normally we wait till the end, but I'm going to try and show you a magic trick. Okay, so let's just have pan down a little bit. I want you to be able to see me. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we're a little bit smaller. That's fine. We're a little cropped in a little bit. That's absolutely fine. So we need. Do
you want me to change the view to like?
No. This view is fine. This view is all good. I tell you what we'll do is we need a cup, and I've got my wallet here, and we need a pen, and so I've got you can see in my wallet I've got I did this the other day, but you can see I've got a €5 note. I've got nothing else in the wallet. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a €5 note, and it's got a little mark on it, which I marked the other day. We can say that says "Love Brittany." Okay. So we're gonna screw this up, okay, into like a little ball.
Like you're crumpling it up.
Okay. Yeah, like crumpling it up just like that. Okay. So now we've got a little ball. Have you ever heard of the cups and the balls?
No.
So it's basically So what we'll do is we'll get so we'll pop this in here, okay. And now, Brittany, look, what happens is if you were here, like I did the other day, I give the magic wand to David, and I say, do you have a favourite magic word?
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. So
sure.
If you point the magic wand and you say the word...
Okay, abracadabra.
It disappears. Brittany. Look, you don't believe me, but look, it's not in there anymore.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's gone, right? And you say,
Where
like,
did it go?
where has it gone, right? So you point it at the cup and you
Okay.
say,
Abracadabra.
and look, it's under the
not
cup.
back. No, it's not.
That's crazy,
What?
right? Yeah, that's
That's
mad.
crazy.
Yeah, look,
I
we'll
don't
do it
know.
one more
I was
time.
like, I was watching so carefully to be like, where did it go? Okay, do it again.
Okay, so it's in the cup, okay?
Yeah.
You see it go in the cup?
Yeah.
You want to see it's in the cup? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, now I'm going to dump it out in my hand, okay? Right, and now look, if you say abracadabra,
Abracadabra.
it
No,
goes.
it's
And look,
still in
under
the cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's wild.
That's
They
crazy.
say once a trick, twice a lesson, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'll do this one more time, okay? But look, you can see it goes in my hand,
Yeah.
okay? And when you say it, did you say it? You didn't say it 'cause it's not
Abracadabra.
under there.
What?
But you say abracadabra,
Abracadabra.
look, and then it's under there.
What? No,
It's
I'm
crazy,
like,
right?
what's making that? Yeah, and my brain is just like, what's making it stick to the cup so that it holds
It's not
on to
sticking
the
to
cup?
the cup. Look, I'll show you. Look, I shouldn't really tell you how this works, okay? But look, it's going to go
Don't
inside
tell.
the cup like that, okay? But look, well, actually, what happens is, Brittany, there's actually a hole in the bottom of the cup, look, and all I need to
No,
do is
there's
just
not.
look. It just comes out the bottom, look like that.
What? There's no hole. There's no hole. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
But
do
look,
that.
if I can make it, if I can make it appear under the cup, can I make it disappear from underneath the cup? Look, like this. Can
Maybe
I
I
make
can.
it go just
What?
like that? Yeah, and look, you think it's in the cup, but it's not.
Where is it?
Exactly. You don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But look, okay,
Yeah,
look,
where is it?
Well, would it be impressive if it was under the cup?
Maybe. Yeah, you just. Ah,
It's under the cup.
I don't get
Okay,
it.
look,
How are you doing this?
One more time, Brittany. Look, here it is. Okay,
Yeah.
look. If I put it in my hand like this and give it a little rub, and you say the word abracadabra,
Abracadabra.
if it's under the cup right now, would that be impressive?
Yes. It's in your hand.
Would it be
supposed to be in your
impressive
hand.
if it was under
Yes.
the cup?
Yes.
No, it's an orange.
Oh my god, what? Oh my god. Did somebody please tell me that you're watching this and trying to figure this out in the
So look,
comments?
check this out. You remember I said I had one note in my
Yeah.
wallet. Look, there's I told you there's one note in my wallet.
Yeah.
Look. There's one
It's
note
still
in my
in
wallet.
there. And it's the crumpled up one?
Yeah, it's the crumpled up one. Look, with
Wow. That was impressive. I don't know how you're doing that. You just did that like a million times. That's like
there you go.
impressive. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, you're getting pretty good. I don't know. That is amazing. I don't know how
There you
to, because yeah, if it was sleight of hand, you just did it like a million times and I didn't see anything. So that was a cool one. That's like a new one that you've been practicing?
Yeah, it's a new one I've been practicing. Yeah, so it's a fun one. It's a fun one.
That was really,
so that's
that one is like the ultimate kids one. Like there's
Yeah.
certain ones that are like the birthday thing or like the prediction thing, adult for sure, wowing. But like those ones, obviously they're good for adults too. But like that stuff is cool for kids. Because they're just, you know, that's the kind of magic that they expect, you know, like the rabbit in the hat kind of thing. And that's, yeah. So like make a list of ones that are like kid friendly, ones that are like adult, you know, centric, so that you have like on the fly tricks to do when you're around kids. But I don't know how you do you just carry magic stuff around or like what do you do?
Yeah, I just carry magic stuff around. Yeah, but this one's quite an impromptu one. Like for the one at work, there was like an old coffee cup and like a receipt, like it was like a balled up receipt from from work. So yeah, that was just like lying around. So like it's like quite an impromptu one, which was nice. And
See, that's
yeah, it was
that's
really nice.
that's how you really impress people too, because like it's one thing to have things that you bring that maybe part of the magic trick that like you can control. But when you just take something that somebody else has, then it's even more like, what? So I think that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's so crazy. Any
Yeah.
more magic gigs like for events or anything?
Yeah, I've got one coming up this weekend actually.
Oh,
Yeah, so my girlfriend's doing Chris is doing some more catering, so I've got another one coming up then. But yeah, so I did that one at work with like a little balled up receipt and a little coffee cup that was lying around, and yeah, it went down really well. So when David come up and he was like, "Oh, was it the one with the cup and the receipt?" and Julian was like, "No, it was like another one that was amazing. He like found my date of birth and the cards." And so I was like really cool, like to like end on such a high, to like, because I've been
yeah.
wanting to show people at work magic for a long time, and I've been a little bit bashful, and then all of a sudden I did it, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I had no idea you were a magician!" And I'm like, "Yeah, way surprise!"
That's so funny because I don't know, there's some things that people do that are just really cool that you're like, this is just your hobby. I have a friend who's actually like my agent at Kello. She's like a really good friend now, but she does hula hoop dancing, like amazing hula hoop dancing. And so we'll just be like camping and it'll be like nighttime because she does it like with lights and stuff. And I'm like, this is just your hobby? Like, why do you do this? Like, she literally is so good. She could perform at like a festival or something. And I'm like, why? Why would you just have this as a hobby, like a private hobby to
Yeah,
hula hoop
yeah,
dance with this amazing light show thing that you do? And I think that's what like magic is, because it's just something so crazy that's so wildly entertaining that you're always curious about like why would that just be your hobby? Like how did they start? So yeah, it was just a very interesting it's an interesting thing about somebody that you work with every day that you don't get to see. So and they would probably think like, why aren't you doing that for a job instead of working at the checkout?
yeah, yeah,
Nobody asked
yeah.
that.
No, no, it was just, yeah. I mean, that particular trick there, that does take a lot of practice. Like I've been practicing that one for a long, long time. I've just finally got the balls to be able to be confident enough to perform it, because it's a lot of it's like a lot of sleight of hand, stuff like that. So it's interesting. So, and there's like the little routines and there's different stages to it. But yeah, I finally got the balls to do it, and
Well, you just did it
yeah.
like 10 times in a row and you did it flawlessly. So you must have been practicing a lot because you didn't. I was like watching. It's not like you were lifting the cup up the exact same way or you know what I mean? So there must be something that you have to hone in order to do it so seamlessly.
Yeah, and then there was an orange.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, where did the orange come from? It's always so crazy. I think the thing that's so cool too about doing magic in person is it's especially with AI now. Like, you never know, especially obviously we're doing this live. But with AI, you never know, even a YouTube video. Like, okay, well, we have special effects. Like, you could literally do anything on a
Mm,
video. So it's so hard to trust magic that's not in person. But when you see it in person, it's like, what? Whoa, because yeah,
yeah.
it's just cool. It's just so,
That's one
so
of the
cool.
things I love about magic so much, is that a lot of people these days are just glued to their phones. So if you
Yeah.
go and show someone a magic trick, like again, it's quite an analog experience, and people are like, "Whoa, that's amazing!" Like you must have been practicing that for ages, and stuff like that, and um, that you must have been doing something other than looking at your phone, which is already quite impressive.
I know. When I see somebody that there's this girl that I follow, if anybody wants to follow her, she's literally amazing. Emily Elizabeth, I think is her name. She's the Sasser House is her and her husband on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and everywhere. But she's like a country music singer. But she crochets, she cans, she gardens. She does all these crazy things that are totally analog things that are all her hobbies. And I'm fascinated by it because she's 23, maybe, like she's young. And I'm like, she's been like the way she crochets, she's been crocheting since she was very young. And to see somebody of that generation that has all these analog hobbies that have nothing to do with a phone, and yet she is a country music singer. She's on social media, and her husband does it like full time now that they've kind of gotten popular. So I'm like, they obviously have to be on their phones a lot in order to do the things that they are doing and promoting. But she also has so many cool activities that take her off of social media and her phone and, the internet. So it's just like, it fascinates me. So I think that's cool. So people see this as like an interesting hobby that most of us don't have the attention span to hone.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I love, and on the subject of analog things, this actually leads me into something that I wanted to talk about, and it's a little bit, yeah, well, embarrassing possibly. It's so we're going on holiday. I think we've decided to do the road trip after all,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah. So a little bit of background for those of you that
Yeah.
didn't follow along, Chris and I are going to Portugal on holiday, and we've decided to drive. We've decided to take the van, and we're going to go and have a nice little mooch on down to Portugal to visit my friends, and then
Yeah.
a little road trip back up. And we had a little chat, and there's part of me that wants to like vlog it, because I love to make
Yeah.
the vlogs. And she said, how about we don't take the laptop? And I was like, well, how am I going to edit the videos? And anyway, long story short, I said, look, do you know what? I was a little bit afraid of saying this because once you make a commitment out loud, you kind of have to follow through with it.
Yeah.
But I said, listen, how about I don't take the laptop, and in fact, how about I go one further and I just commit to having a fully analog time? Like I'll just completely delete YouTube off my phone, because YouTube is, again, a little habit that's creeping back into my life. Like the passive YouTube watching, for some reason, it went away for a long time, but it creeps back.
Yeah.
And I just said, listen, we're going on holiday, we're going on a road trip. How about, I don't vlog anything, or maybe I do take some videos and I'll just edit it all when I get back, even though it'll probably be totally overwhelming. But like, how about, we just have a nice little analog time, and just, give me the perfect excuse to disconnect, and just spend some nice analog time moments, without having to, consume content or create content or show someone a magic trick without filming it. You know what I mean? Or just, yeah. And she was like, yeah. Her face lit up. She was like, yes, please, yes, absolutely, let's do that. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. But at the same time, that filled me with a bit of fear, because I'm kind of losing my easiest coping mechanism, and I might feel urges, and that not having that immediate outlet to just sort of, being able to. And then I don't want to let her down, because what if I do, what if I go for a poo and I'm like, sneakily watching YouTube in the toilet and stuff like that. I don't want to be a disappointment. And then, and also just, confronting boredom and discomfort head on. They're real things that I'm actually like a bit scared of, and I feel a bit embarrassed to say that, but like, that's kind of a real feeling of like, can I do it? It's quite a big commitment that I've said that I'm going to do.
I think it's so bizarre that we have these, like, it's a real fear. Like it's like somebody that's addicted to, cigarettes or something, thinking, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to get cigarettes where I am, or something like that. That is the feeling. That's how you know that we are a fully addicted culture of, phone watchers. Like it's so crazy. And if you don't have it, I mean, like I've deleted social media many, many times, but the habit of picking up your phone and unlocking the screen is crazy. Like how many times you do that, and then you realize I have nothing to watch on there. Then I would do anything, Pinterest. I would keep Pinterest on my phone. Anything that would allow me to scroll some way it's just bizarre that is such an ingrained habit. Like it's not even our brain, it's our muscle memory, like what our hands reach for when we're bored and all that stuff. And I don't even know, like you think about what we did before and how like pervasive, how quickly this has like pervaded society. Like it's so crazy. I remember when Facebook came out in 2007, I was in university, and if I was like bored in university before, doing an assignment or tired or whatever, I would just like stop for a sec. I might have a book with me that I would read, or just, I would stop, do something else. But as Facebook became popular, I would literally like open Facebook when I was bored, and then it just like that was the beginning of the end, where when you're bored, that's the thing that you do. And it's such a hard habit to break, like such a hard habit to break.
Yeah.
I'll try and send you the book that I read about a guy who went off social media entirely. No TV, no email, no nothing for 3 months to write a book about how
Oh, is that
bad.
Johan Hari?
What's it
Johan
called?
Hari. That definitely rings a bell. Yeah, yeah. I've read that book as well.
Yeah, like I can't remember where he went, but he went to stay somewhere totally different and totally checked out. It was a great book, but his uh you know, how he was describing the feeling of not being able to connect was crazy. Like he had a phone that had no internet, just like an actual cell phone, in case of emergency. But like, what do you do with all that
Yeah,
time?
yeah. I'm
Um,
pretty
yeah.
sure. Does he start the book by saying he went to see the Elvis, not Queensland, something,
Can't
and like
remember.
when he was in the Elvis place, everyone had iPads and they were going around having like this virtual
Yes,
experience, and they was like,
it
but
was
hey,
his.
and he was like,
He,
hey, snap out of it. We're at Elvis's place. You don't need to watch it on an iPad.
yeah,
Like we're here. Yeah,
he
I
was like with his
remember.
nephew or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Was talking about that, and because his nephew was like addicted to it, he was like, I'm gonna do this. Anyway, yeah, it's like when I read books like that, it's so crazy. And I read one called Indistractable, I think it was. And it was a guy who actually helped build the auto scroll. I think it was
Hmm.
that guy. And he was writing about his first book was about basically how not to manipulate people, but how to influence people's behavior. And then he was like, that totally got used in not a way that I wanted it to be used. And then he wrote this book about how to protect yourself from the thing that he wrote the first book about. It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's the power in it is insane. And I watched a video that said for the first time ever in the history of like generation after generation, our kids have a lower IQ. Like we are dumber, or our kids are
Yeah, yeah.
dumber than we are, um, on all kinds of tests in terms of how their frontal lobe functions. And that is crazy.
Yeah. That book's
So
called
scary.
Stolen Focus, by the
Stolen
way.
Focus. That's it. Yep. That's it.
Great read.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting how like I'm confronting this fear, and it's like a sign that I've correctly identified something that actually has a grip on me. I am embarrassed, but I know that it's relatable. I know that there's people probably in the comments like yeah, that sounds, I'd be scared to do that as well. Not that I'm scared to do it. I'm just scared of like letting her down, like making a promise that I can't keep. Even though it's something that I want to do, I think it's healthy to disconnect. You know, but it's just such a like you said about the habit, right? When I go to toilet, if I need the toilet at work, I have to wait for the lift. As soon as I'm waiting for the lift, like phone comes out. I'm
Yep.
like, why am I looking at my phone? Like, there's nothing. I don't have any notifications, but I'm unlocking it and I'll look for something while
Me
I'm waiting for the
too.
lift. I'm like, I need a wee. I'm waiting for the lift. Like, why do I need to look at my phone while I'm in the lift? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I just sit there and wait
Yeah.
for the lift? Like, it's weird that my brain is like, oh, and yeah, there's so many little moments where I listened to a good podcast recently of saying that if you're, so for example, I had a podcast to edit, one that I did with my friend Benji, and I've been
Yeah.
procrastinating since the 5th of March, and I just edited it today and released it. But then yeah, and it was saying like all you need to do is start it, right? The starting something is the hardest thing. But if you start like by like, oh, I'll just watch a little bit of YouTube first, then that's it. I'm gone. I'm
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole.
Terrible.
So all you need to do is like interrupt these little patterns. And yeah, it's so interesting. Like how I've been manipulated by this little device, and I keep looking at it, and oh, it's just this reinforcement loop of just like, what the hell? I need to just, so I know that the disconnect will do me good. I just hope that I can stick to it and not be a bloody loser.
I know. I've done it many, many times and I just keep going. And it's because I'll like there's everything is connected to it. So there's so many things that people put on Facebook that are like events that you have to RSVP to, or Jacob's boxing coach had a Facebook group that was for all of his events and stuff. And so I struggled to keep up with that if I didn't have Facebook on my phone. Now he's actually changed it to WhatsApp, which I'm like so happy about, because there's no like scrolling through WhatsApp. You just have messages in there. But yeah, Instagram, people will, it's easier for me to stay off Instagram for sure, because I don't really ever check that. And I don't care if people are sending me stuff on there. And I've gotten so disconnected from Instagram that like I could have an inbox full of 20 messages and I don't care. Like I don't feel like I'm missing something super important. But like Facebook Messenger and Facebook, I feel like I'm missing something if I'm not connected to that for some reason. And TikTok I could like never watch ever. I don't care about that either. But yeah, YouTube and Facebook are mostly like my downfalls. And it, like you say, it's there's just the start of one thing. Like last night I was like, I'm just gonna check Facebook for 1 second at like 11:30 when I'm like in bed, and then before I know it, it's 12:30 and I'm like, I'm freaking tired. And now I'm like jazzed up. My brain has gone beyond tired. So now my body is producing cortisol. So it took me like another half an hour to fall asleep. And it's so stupid because if you do something totally different, like when I read, when I'm like tired, I don't have that. There's been a few times where I'm like, I have to finish this book. Yeah. But most of the time I'm able to just be like, I'm going to put it down, because a book is not something that you can finish in a certain, length of time in a day, usually, unless you're sitting there reading all day. But like an episode of a show, I equate it to that too. Like if you're binge watching like a series and you're just like, oh my God, I have to see what happens next. But if you just stop, then you're like, go to bed, and you're 10 minutes later, you're not like, oh my God, that like, I need that fix. And that's the same with social media. If you just put down the phone and do something else for 5 minutes, you interrupt that pattern and your brain can relax. And it isn't like, oh my God, I need that dopamine hit. You just have to be able to like listen when you're, because I will sit there and my brain will be like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. You shouldn't be doing this. I don't like doing this. Why are you doing this? Same as when I eat junk food. I'm like sitting there eating it and they're like, my brain is like, you should probably not eat another chip. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably just do it anyway. So I always like wonder what part of me is overriding the like higher self that is literally screaming at me. Like what part of me is overriding that, better me. I don't know.
So when you were talking about Instagram, it's actually, I've spoken a lot about this. I deleted Instagram probably over a year ago now. Don't look back. Like I don't really like the platform. The vertical scrolling stuff. It's just it's not for me. But I see Chris on it, and now I almost have this like allergic reaction to like just the type of content that is on Instagram. I just don't like it. But yeah, I was watching a magic tutorial right the other day, right? And you think that I love magic, right? And I was watching it, I was like falling asleep, and I was like, oh. So then I switched and I went to some other YouTube, and all of a sudden, boom! I'm like wide awake, and I'm like, oh, I could scroll YouTube all day. And then another thing that I've noticed is the shorts, right? The shorts are awful. Like any sort of like vertical scrolling is terrible. But sometimes I'm like, oh, one will catch my eye, and I'll be like, oh, I'll just watch one because it's fine. And then all of a sudden, half an hour has passed, and I'm like deep in the scroll, and I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. I went on this because I didn't have time to watch a short video, but I've just watched 30 short videos, and half an hour has passed, and I was falling asleep. I was literally falling asleep, and now I'm wired, and I feel like I could do this all night, and it's so unhealthy for one's brain to be stimulated in that way, and it's crazy, man. I don't like it, and like kids these days, man. Oh, I feel grateful that I didn't grow up with it, because I have no idea. I have a good sense of what it's doing to people's attention spans and stuff. It's a bit rubbish.
Yeah, it's so bad. It really is so bad. I don't know what the solution is, but I just actually read another book. I didn't finish it because it was a little dry. It was very technical, but what she was talking about is like a digital diet, because she was like, it doesn't help when you talk about nutrition, actual eating food, to just say never eat that food, because it exists in the world. Sugar exists, sweets exist, junk food exists. And so you have to teach people how to safely consume it. And Joe talks about this all the time because he plays Scrabble. It's a game called what's it called? Oh my God, I literally, my brain is like, if I have to think of something fast on the podcast, just forget it because you want to look like an idiot. Crossplay. That's what it's called. It's a Scrabble with friends, essentially. And he plays that all day long. I started him on it because I'm like, oh, I love Scrabble. But, I get bored after like 2 games. And then that's what he plays. But his vocabulary is crazy in terms of like the words that he knows. And if we actually go sit down to play real Scrabble, he kicks my ass because he plays this all the time, and he plays against actual people that he doesn't know that are just like opponents all over the world. And I am terrible at that kind of stuff. So like games on my phone, not fun to me at all. I would much rather play a physical game, cards in person. So I haven't developed like an addiction to that, but like Joe loves games on his phone, educational, anything. And so he's always like, well, why is it worse for me to be playing, Scrabble on my phone? And why, if somebody was sitting there playing Scrabble with somebody else, they would be like, oh, that's, a very noteworthy, positive experience. But me sitting, looking at my phone, they think that it's bad. And so he always argues that because he's on his phone a lot. Like we don't watch a movie without Joe being on his phone, and he's always doing 2 things at once. But he's like, I'm doing educational stuff. And so I struggle with that because some things are very positive on your phone and can actually increase your intelligence. And then other things are just like the mind mush that takes away all of your motivation and, attention span. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the answer is. But
so that's one thing that I've been struggling with recently because if I'm creating things, like for example, if I'm creating videos or thumbnails or whatever, I feel like I'm creating, I'm not consuming, but from the outside it presents the same. It's like whether I'm scrolling YouTube or doing something, it looks the same from the outside.
Exactly.
So Chris is always like, you're looking at your phone, and Joe's probably like, well, I could be like, I'm doing Duolingo, I'm learning French, and Joe's like, oh, I'm playing, this is a fun, engaging thing, it might be virtual, but I'm expanding my vocabulary, playing a game. But you may as well be doom strolling because from the outside you're lost looking in the funhouse mirror, And,
I agree. And I still think it's like it takes your attention off of, and I am so bad at this. Like ask my kids, if I am looking at my phone, I don't hear anybody. Like they could be talking to me or Jamie could be telling me a story, but I'm like, there's like some stupid reel that I'm like, oh my God, this weight loss journey of this person, I better watch this rather than listening to my daughter. And that's like a horrible thing to admit, but that is the power of it. And it's so bad. Like I have to physically be like, if I'm anything, even if it's like music in the car, listening to the radio, I have to turn it down and off in order for me to tune into something somebody's saying. So I think that it's just like a powerful tool that has disconnected people from each other, that has connected, the people that are making all the money to our attention span. And it's like our soul is being sucked out by these things. And it's really, really hard. There's a couple of comments here. Chris says Robin is like that, drives me nuts. It is a woman thing, I think. Like everybody always says women can multitask, and that's such a freaking lie. We have maybe like that RAM, like I equate it to RAM, where you can have a bunch of shit going on at the same time, but you have to only focus on one tab at one time. Like you can't be focusing on all of them. You have a lot of shit in your brain open, but you can't like physically at one time pay attention to anything more than one thing. So yeah. Interesting. There's a go ahead.
I was going to ask you about the last week's episode. And how it was received.
I did.
Did Jacob watch it?
I did want to talk about that. Yeah. So Joe was actually watching that last week's episode and was commenting on it. And then Jacob, this is how I have such a good kid. He was like, "What did you do, Mom?" And he was like, "You made a video basically diminishing this guy's accomplishment because you thought it was not inspirational enough." And I was like, well, when you put it like that sounds bad, Jacob. Like, why are you putting it like that? And he's like, I would never do that. He's like, I would never do that. Everybody's accomplishments is theirs to own and theirs to celebrate. And I was like, I literally feel like crying now because I was like, I am a douchebag. Like, I am a horrible person. And then when he put it like that, I was like, that's so bad. And then later on, his coach texted him and was like, would you be willing to coach the guy in the wheelchair who's like boxing? And Jacob said yes. I was like, oh
Uh,
my God, I have the best kid ever. I feel like crying right now. You can see
do
now
we
my
have
dog.
to do we have to go back and delete that episode?
I'm like, I feel like I should delete it because it was like when Jacob put it that way, I'm like, oh my God, I totally just diminished this guy's hard work, the accomplishment that he had. And I was like making fun of the celebration that he was, of his own celebration of his accomplishments and the efforts that he put in just because it didn't look, pretty enough to the outside world. I was like, oh my
No,
God, I'm such a bad person.
I wouldn't put yourself down. Like, I think what you brought up a really good point that resonated with me a lot. Like, it was an overblown, hyperbolic,
Yeah.
achievement, and it was performative praise. Let's be honest, that he didn't really
Yeah.
win a boxing match. You know what I mean? Rather than, and then he went on social media saying, "Check me out. I just, I beat up this guy." Essentially, or like, well, not really, but
Yeah.
he alluded to the fact that it was a grand achievement when it was basically quite performative. So I don't think there's any reason for you to feel bad. I understand that Jacob saw it through a different lens, but maybe he didn't listen to the episode. Maybe he just assumed the worst.
Yeah, he did not watch the episode, and I was trying to tell him that, like, I was trying to put it into context to highlight that disability can be, inspiration porn, or that people with disabilities can leverage the like pity. I don't want to say pity, but the sympathy of others to make themselves feel better or make themselves look better than what their accomplishment actually necessarily deserves. But yeah, it just made me feel bad because I was like, if maybe he hadn't talked about his win in that way, but had talked about the effort that he put in and that it was really fun to train and he learned a lot over the years. But again, I don't know if that's just me being judgmental, but anyway, I just was like, I have such a great kid that was like, I wouldn't do that. He's like, just wouldn't feel good about that because everybody's allowed to be as proud of themselves as they want to be and all that stuff. And Jacob just like, he obviously is in a club with people that are, some better than him, some not as good as him. And he's very good at staying in his own lane. I mean, one of the people in his club is a 2-time national champion, just went to Thailand for the world's thing, and he can potentially go to Africa for like the Junior Olympics. And Jacob's very good at being like, that's great. Like, that's great for him. And never trying to tear him down or anything, even though sometimes I think the kid's a little cocky, but yeah, Jacob seems to be able to stay in his own lane pretty well. So I don't know how
Yeah.
I raised him to be that way if I'm obviously not as good at it.
Nah, he sounds like a good egg. That's cool. I like that. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
Is
I
there
thought
anything
that was
else?
good.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we check out the comments?
Sure. I am putting this out here publicly because if I don't, I did it before, but now I'm actually going to do it. I'm starting my community on School. It's a platform that just has like community groups essentially, called the Happy, Healthy, Awesome Project. And it's mostly for me to be held accountable to reach my own goals. But I also think it's great for anybody else. And specifically, I am like, Jim, I know you're going to be a little upset about this. I can't stop you from joining the community. Obviously, if you want to give me your money, you can give me your money and join the community. But it's supposed to be for people with disabilities to accomplish their goals. Anybody who feels like they're a work in progress and who wants education, support, and accountability, this group is for you. I'm going to give a deal to everybody on here that wants to join. And I'm also doing a 6-week sort of, it's like a not a workshop, but it's like a course on nutrition. I actually have a certification in nutrition. I just need to remind myself. I've ran this course before called Spring into Health. So I'm going to run that again for anybody that joins, just to give us a little boost in our education about nutrition, what we should be eating, what we shouldn't be eating, how to build healthier habits. I'm going to do live workouts in there. So I'll be in there live, hopefully multiple times a week. I'm going to try at least 3 times a week to do a workout, but I should be in there 5 times a week going live doing my workouts. So if you want to work out with me, you can be in there doing that. There'll be weekly accountability calls for everybody to talk about the goals that they want to set. And then we're going to hold each other accountable. So I'm going to write down everybody's goals. We're going to have like accountability threads at the end of each week so that people can talk about their goals. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to start that. I'm going to launch it next Tuesday or next Monday when we do the podcast, and give everybody the links and stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. Hopefully my goal for this in the end is to have multiple people with disabilities that are each sort of doing their own thing that could be coaches. Like if you wanted to do like gratitude stuff on there and do that live when you're doing it, then people could join you to do your gratitude stuff or whatever. And then other people who might be working out so that people can catch a bunch of live workouts with people that are holding themselves accountable to a group that they're hoping to, empower. So anyway, that's my goal. It's just going to be me in there for now. And we'll see how it grows. So I'm going to have like a special deal for anybody that's like a founding member. They can have lifetime access to the group, all that jazz. So it's going to be fun, I think. And it's going to be a paid community. I like struggle with this so much, but I'm also like, this is a lot of work for me to put the whole community together to make sure I'm facilitating everything. And if anybody wants to join, it's like, it'll be less than a gym membership. And yeah, you'll be able to hopefully reach your goals in a group setting and hold yourself accountable.
That sounds really good. Did you say you were going to work out live 5 times a week?
Yes, it's going to be I'm starting very small. So this is the thing about.
That sounds quite grandiose.
I'm eventually, that's my goal is but the workouts are like right now, my things are going to be small because we talked about like Atomic Habits, the Compound Effect books that are really great. So what I want to do is essentially show people what it looks like to habit stack on there. So the workouts are really small. Like right now I want to do some shoulder hygiene stuff, range of motion, and like helping my tendonitis, keep my tendonitis away. So I'm not going to be like lifting crazy weights or anything. It's going to be like a 7-minute, maybe a 7 to 10-minute workout. And then I'm going to build up from there. But the idea is, yes, that I'm going to go live when I'm working out, and hopefully that'll be at home. I'm not sure what that's going to look like if I end up going to the gym. But the idea is, yes, that I will be working out live so that if anybody wants to join me, they can just do what I'm doing. If they don't want to think about their own goals and they just want to sort of jump on the bandwagon of somebody else in a wheelchair who's doing something healthy. Because part of the thing that I joined a group before, and this is something sort of similar, but it's not, because this was specifically a women's workout group. But it was so easy for me to stay healthy and work out because I didn't have to think about the workouts. And I was doing it with other women. So it was so helpful. And yeah, like I said, I am reading this book right now called, see, my brain can't think about it, Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin, I think it is. And she talks about all of these different, tendencies that you have in terms of like how you stay accountable to habits. And she has like, one is called a rebel, one's an obliger, one is, I can't remember all the ones, but I know I'm an obliger. So I know that if I'm accountable to somebody else or something else, I will always hold up my end of the bargain. Almost always. It's really rare that I won't, because I'm an obliger. I am a people pleaser and I have something to show up for, somebody to show up for. So this is my way of doing that for myself. And I'm hoping that it's going to be my way of giving that to other people too. So yeah, I'm excited about building this community. It'll be something obviously more intimate than my YouTube channel, because it will be people that follow me, hopefully, and have disabilities and want to grow as a person. Anybody that's a work in progress. That's why I called it the Happy, Healthy, Awesome Project, because that's my tagline on my YouTube channel. And I really want that for myself, and I want it for other people too. But everybody's a work in progress. I'm a project. Everybody else is a project. And I think that as long as you have goals that you're trying to reach and things that you're trying to build, then your life is better overall. And doing it together is so much easier than doing it alone. So yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds really good. Chris does a workout class with a lady called Dory, and she does it live. And there is a certain, what's the word? There's more of an accountability if you go live. Like you can do any sort of, because I was like, why why don't you just do a workout class? Why does it have to be live? But when you do it live, there's an accountability. You show up, there's a time, a
Yeah.
place, all the other people are live, and she sometimes does it because they're recorded. She sometimes does it afterwards. But like when there's a time and it's like you've
Yeah.
got to be there. And she loves it, and she gets beasted, on this little workout
Yeah.
class, and she really likes it. And they also do this wonderful thing where at the end of the workout, because it's like a bit of a holistic thing where they hold up a mirror and they were like sort of write down the negative voices that came into your head when you saw yourself in the mirror, and then like compliment yourself. And I don't know, it was like a workout, and then having a healthy relationship with oneself, and it was like it sounds really wholesome and lovely. So yeah, she bloody loves it. So yeah, I can see that would be appealing.
I know myself too, because this I show up for because it's live. I know I'm going to do it. I don't have to like edit a lot of stuff. And so I was trying to reduce the amount of, not necessarily like back end work, but I would rather spend the time engaging with people and, thinking of ways to boost their motivation and all of that stuff rather than me doing the workout and then trying to post it after. Because if I go live in this community, I can put it on the calendar. People just go into the calendar. There's like a little tab. They can go in it. They click the live. They join me there. And yeah, it'll be easier, I think, than trying to film and edit and all of that stuff. And I have a women's group that I belong to of women in wheelchairs. And there's a bunch of women in there, not a bunch now, but there's 2 women specifically. It used to be 3, and I used to do it too. We would just go, hey, I'm going to do a workout. Who wants to do it with me? And it's like awesome. And they still do it. Like they're like, hey, I'm working out at 10 a.m. Who's going to join me? And they just go on Zoom, and anybody who's available at that time does it. So it's a little bit like that because I know how powerful this group is. But I just want everybody to be healthier as like, this is for myself. It's mostly for myself. People always say, teach what you need, and this is what I need right now. And yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be exciting and awesome. And I'm also going to do like a challenge in there where anybody that stays in for a certain length of time gets entries into a draw at the end of the year that's going to be like $500 or $1,000, plus they get to win their next year of the community totally free. So I don't want that to be like the reason that people join, because there's people that are just like, ooh, I'm going to join just to like enter in to get this like money or whatever. So it has to be like you're actually doing good things for yourself. You're doing check-ins, you're joining meetings and stuff, because I want it to be part of the thing that helps them hold themselves accountable if they need an extra little boost. Plus, I also want people to be able to win back the money that they paid into it, because I know that finances is a difficult thing for somebody. So if somebody's going to commit, say like it's probably going to be like $15 a month to my program, then they get the chance to win that back for being committed and for doing something good for themselves. Yeah, so we'll see.
I have really good for you as well, because like when you work out, like I've thought about doing it as well. Like when you work out, like sometimes if I'm at the gym, I work out better when there's other people in the gym, because if there's no one else, like it's I think I learned about it at school, like social facilitation, like the presence of others and how it affects your performance.
Yeah.
Like and this is a bit cringy to admit, but even if there's like an attractive girl in the gym, even though I'm in a committed relationship, I work out harder. But I don't know why. It's just totally human nature, right? I'm like, whoa, yeah, you know what I mean? Look how much I can lift, kind of thing. Even though she's probably not even paying attention to me. It's just the fact that there is someone else there. So if you're working out, even if it's live or recorded, you're going to be like, well, I can't, look at my phone, because you can get distracted on your phone at the gym, right? You can't do that if you're doing it live, if you're with people, even if it's recorded and someone's going to tune in later on. So it's holding yourself accountable for that little workout is a great idea. I think that's really cool. I've thought about it before in the past, and I think that's great. I wish you all the best success with that.
Yeah. Well, if you want to jump on the bandwagon, you can sort of be a fly on the wall in the group for a little while to see if you actually like it. But like I said, it's hopefully going to be a large community of people that eventually are in the community, hold themselves accountable to groups, want to become a coach in the community, then start doing their own stuff in the community that helps empower other people in the community. I just want it to be a really great space for people that's private, because one of the things that I hate about Facebook groups is there's a lot of creepers in there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't want that to be at all. I know there's a lot of creepers on my YouTube channel, which is part of the reason there's going to be a paywall, because I want it to be a safe space for people with disabilities, so that there's not like people in there that are just like, oh, I want to show up to watch Brittany do a workout. And if they get in there for free, there's going to be creepers that are just going to show up to watch people with disabilities work out. Like, that's scary.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't, totally protect the community, because I'm not going to, screen every person to be like, do you actually have a disability? But yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it
But
goes, but I'm
I
excited.
in
I'm like super excited about it. If for the first time, like in a long time, I've been like researching stuff and like thinking about how to do things. And it's, yeah, kind of feels like I'm starting my YouTube channel all over again. And it gives me new ideas for content. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I'm really excited about it.
I'm thrilled for you, man. I can feel the excitement, and I want to. Yeah, I wish you the best, and I want to encourage it. I want to
Mhm.
nurture it. It sounds great. But my only, or do you ever think that, like, if I put it behind a paywall, no one's going to turn up? You ever think that, like, I'm going to do all these live workouts, then there's just no one there? You're just like,
Yes.
or just like
Yes.
Jim.
That is my biggest fear. My biggest fear is always that if I create something of value and put a dollar sign on it, that people are going to give up on me. Like, they're going to be like, oh, I'm not, it's not worth that. Because I do that plenty of times to people. If I like find somebody I like, and then I'm like, oh, I want to go to this thing, but then I'm like, oh, I have to pay for it, I'm not going to go. But then there's other people that I don't do that with, and that I find tremendous value in. So I'm trying not to let that limiting belief stop me from starting a community that I think is
Mm,
ultimately going to be really helpful for people. And I know for my own self, I've joined plenty of free communities in the past, that I've given up on, because free equals not important. Do
mm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
if you pay for something, generally you show up for it.
yeah,
And I know that when I paid for that women's workout group called the Icon Academy, I showed up and it was fun. Like, I wanted to
yeah.
show up. I was genuinely excited about it. And I paid like, I think it was like, because it was American. I paid like $60 a month, which is like not
Wow. Yeah,
crazy, but like
wow.
that's like
That's a
a
lot.
legit gym membership.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
still showed up, and it was just a once a week
yeah,
meeting, and
yeah, yeah.
sometimes we worked out. But we had like an app that she would post workouts in and stuff. So we had to work out on our own, but we had a group that we kind of were accountable to. We could see other people and how they were working out and all that stuff. But this is my favorite thing, which is why I'm doing the live workouts, because if people show up, then I get to know people, and people do it with me. And if people don't have any idea how to start working out or whatever, then they can just join me. Plus, I thought it would be a cool idea to use the nutrition certification that I got. I mean, like, I'm technically a holistic nutritionist, and I don't ever use that, but I did this course before, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really fun. I loved it. So I have all the course material, and I just thought it'd be a fun add-in. So I'll do this live. So they'll get like once a week accountability call. Once a week will be the nutrition sort of course for 6 weeks. And then I'll post the course in the actual like group, and people can access it afterwards if they want to refer back to it. Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then yeah, I have a couple of friends that have said that they would be interested in doing live workouts. I have one of my friends, Kyle, is a guy in a wheelchair, and he's like, oh, sounds really fun to me. So he might be interested in doing workouts. So then it'd be a guy doing workouts at some point live in the group. Yeah, so I'm just gonna see where it goes. So right now
Sounds
it's just
good.
it's a little baby penguin. We'll see how far it
Yeah,
grows.
a baby penguin. I like that. But it's like a double-edged sword with with putting stuff behind a paywall. You have the fear that no one's going to turn up, but then also when people pay for stuff, they put value on it, right? Because like, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. When something's free, it's like, oh, it's free, like. But when something, there was a magician fella, right, who put out 2 years in a row now on his Patreon. He puts out a post like an advent, like every December he does like an advent. So he
Yeah.
puts a piece of content out every single day over the month of December, right? So it's like the magic advent
Yeah.
calendar. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's honestly, it's so much content, especially over Christmas. Christmas is quite a busy time. I just don't have
Yeah.
time to watch it, and because it's free, I don't put any value on it really, and it's such a shame. And I don't have the heart to tell this guy that. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there's enough people that value it, but for me personally, because it's free, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean. But there's other people's Patreons that I pay for, and because um, they provide content and I'm paying for it, I'm like, oh, well, I've got to read this because I.
Yeah,
It's so weird, isn't it? It's like oh, yeah. It's just I
it
guess it's
is.
human nature.
It is a really double-edged sword. I mean, like it's really hard to. I struggle with this, and like I'm like going to ChatGPT more often now because you're like it's a very valuable tool. But I struggle with this a lot. I struggle with this a lot. But at the end of the day, I have to if I put my energy into something I'm excited about, then that leaves me less time and energy for teaching and other things. And you have to pay your bills. And at the end of the day, if I'm putting time and energy, and this costs money for me to have, like I can't just get this community for free. So I'm paying for this community. But ultimately, if people find it valuable, they'll pay for it. And if they don't, they won't. And I hope people give me feedback. That's why I want people at the beginning to join, and that I'm going to give, discounts to and stuff like that, because you guys, if you join, will be helping build the community and being like, this is too expensive. I didn't find this valuable enough, or this is way too valuable for what, like I joined a nutrition group for, it's like people who want to cook for their dogs. And the girl was giving this massive value every week. She has a live Q&A. You can ask any question you want about recipes for dogs, cooking for dogs. She's a pet nutritionist. I'm like, and then the other things that you have to pay for are her formulations. I'm like, dude, the Q&A, people are literally getting free coaching over and over and over and over again, week after week. So they would never have to buy your stuff because they're basically just getting free coaching from you. I'm like, the Q&A needs to be behind the paywall. She's like, yeah, I kind of thought about that. And I'm the kind of person that I was like, I want to be part of this community. I want access to this person. So I'm like, I don't mind paying for that access or whatever. Right. But yeah, there are people who will complain about anything. I mean, there's a girl that I don't know if she even still follows me, but I talked about my Patreon for like 2.5 minutes at the end of a video, and she made a comment that was like, yeah, she didn't call me a grifter, but she was just like, oh, okay, and you're just gonna sit there and talk about how we need to give you money. I'm like, it's $2 a month. I'm like, you don't want to go to my Patreon? Don't. I'm like, it's just ad-free videos. And if you want to support my channel and you like this stuff, obviously, because she commented on every single one of my videos, I'm like, you find value in my content, you watch it all, but I'm not valuable enough to pay $2 here and there for the hours and hours and hours I put in to make the videos that you watch. So there's going to be people like that you can't please anyway. And then there's going to be people who will pay for anything that you put out, no matter what the price is. Right. So yeah, you're going to find all things, and I can't please everybody. So I'm just trying to do my best to make the world a better place, and also, pay the bills that I have to pay. Because, we just paid for our like StreamYard subscription. It's like not cheap to be able to do this stuff.
Yeah.
It really
and
isn't.
Also, I wanted to just I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because we a StreamYard subscription, which is not cheap, right? So every year, we pay that money, and it's thank you to the people on Patreon, especially the one that bought my nude pictures. Hello,
that's hilarious.
That paid for So this actually costs us money and time, but yeah, you're welcome.
And it like if I think about all the things that I have, like my Zoom, all the things for my ad-free music, like I have so many subscriptions in order to run YouTube that I basically break even. Like it's ridiculous. And when I actually show people on paper, they're like, dude, you need to charge for some stuff. Like my cousin is brilliant. She's in a wheelchair. She's an interior designer. She's a website developer. And she makes so much money. It's crazy how much money she makes, but she's just like, you don't charge for anything. No wonder you don't make any money. And she still helps people. She still does all this great stuff. And people love her, but she just decided that like her time is valuable, and she's not just going to give stuff away for free. Because when she started doing interior design, she would just charge basically like nothing just for the opportunity to work with people. And she's like, dude, that's like not fair, right? So exactly. And there's like Jesse says haters gonna hate. And I'm nobody has to. I'm not like forcing anybody to give me their money or join a community they don't want to join. It's only if you want to join, and it's only if you think it's gonna help you, and if you think it would be valuable. So, and I hope that it will be valuable. And I would love your feedback if you do join the community.
I kind of forgot that we used to talk about the Patreon a lot, and I big up all the Patreon members that give me money and give you money. Like I say, it does go towards the podcast and stuff, and I forget to thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And for
So
anyone
thank you.
who does feel like they want to check out the Patreon, because I guess on yours and on mine there's a lot of stuff that's like behind the scenes, and yeah, patreon.com/Fredo the Wheelchair Guy, or patreon.com/Empowered Para.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there's no pressure. Like I said, I haven't spoken about it in ages, but I do
I know.
appreciate all the Patreons, because they're bloody rad. Lovely little community over there. So thank you very
I
much.
really do. And thank you especially to my boys group on Patreon, because we have like a Zoom Patreon hangout once a month. And other than Samantha, there are like one girl that joined again. She had some health problems. She wasn't there. But so like Nolan and Ryan and Chris and Jim. Oh my God, who's the new guy? Jim put it in there. He's the lawyer. Can't remember his name. But it's all guys. I just hang out with a bunch of guys once a month. And it's really fun. So I thank you guys so much, because you're like in the top tier of my Patreon, and you always show up. They always show up to the Zoom hangout. So we get to know each other really well. We talk about each other's like health issues, or just like fun things that we're doing, anything. And it's really fun. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is like an extension of that for this new community. But Patreon is just anybody can join, and it's not specifically tailored to goals or anything. Jim's asking if my Patreon will still exist. I'm going to see about that. I'll see which one. If a bunch of people jump ship to the other one, then it doesn't really make sense to keep both, I think. But we'll see. I don't know.
Cool. Well, on that note, let's go. Let's bounce. But this has been fun. Thank you so much, Brittany. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No. I think Easter's coming up. Are we doing the podcast on Monday, which will be Easter Monday?
Probably, yeah. I don't have any plans for Easter. I'm not,
I don't think I will be gone, but I will keep you posted. So like, let's just say we're going to do it. Even if I am gone, I'll just be at my mother-in-law's, so I can just bring my computer there. So yeah, we're still going to be here for Easter Monday.
Cool. Right. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.
That's
Bye,
a
guys.
wrap. Peace.